Is there such a thing as a victim? Of course. If there's such a thing as a thief, then there's such a thing as a victim. If there's such a thing as a murderer or people who assault folks, then there's such a thing as a victim. So, should people play the blame game? Of course. If a thief steals from a person, that becomes their victim of a robbery. The person is a victim of a robbery, and you have to blame the thief in order to receive justice. So we don't want victim mentality, even if you're a victim. You don't want to be, you want to keep trying to come back. You want to get justice. You have to play the blame game in order to get repaid. If a thief steals from you, they owe you money or whatever it is. They owe repayment. And our justice system should pay that back. Love your neighbor. What part of love your neighbor means not to be fair? The thief didn't kill the person in some cases. So you don't kill the thief. You have them pay back what they stole. You don't keep them locked up forever. You don't overpunish them. You let them pay it back, and then they're free to go, as long as they've proven they're not being a repetitive thief. You might not even have to lock them up. You forgive them, and you calmly do these things. Forgive people doesn't mean pardon. You can pardon. That's mercy. It can be circumstantial, what you decide, but you don't have to pardon. You can charge them up to 7 times what they stole, but no more than 7 times. One reason the Bible states 7 times is because there's no more than 7 times. So these $1 million lawsuits and stuff people try to do are invalid. That's overpunishing. That's stealing. That's greed. But up to 7 times is qualifiable of the amount. That's paying for having to retrieve stuff, not being able to get back the exact same quality of property they lost, things like that. The time put into retrieving and having to suffer and take risk in their lives sometimes to get justice. And so that makes sense. But doing too much is not valid. All right. So you have to, when it comes to the justice system, there's a lot messed up there because lawyers use it to make money. And I'm going to close this. I don't want it to be long. But yes, there is such a thing as a victim. Don't have victim mentality. I'm not going to explain all that other stuff. So that's legitimate. And so I thought of this the other day, this topic, because Candace Owens used to, when she was posing as a conservative. Now, she may have some conservative views or whatever, but I kind of wonder if she was faking some things and pretending to be on the conservative side and couldn't stomach faking it and being around them that long, possibly. But so she always said there's no such thing as a victim. Quit playing the victim to make Republicans and conservatives look bad, possibly. And some of them buy into that. A lot of them get tricked into that. But there is a victim. You are supposed to play the blame game. Blame the thief, for instance. Blame the killer. And now if it's a situation where somebody is agitating someone and agitating, and then that person fights them and accidentally or kills them even while they're fighting, then the victim might be somewhat to blame, but you're still to blame. The killer is also still to blame. They can walk away, right? So, but generally, if the thief steals from somebody, I don't know how you taunt somebody to steal from you. The thief's probably more guilty sometimes than the person who beat somebody up, who was taunted to fight or whatever. So, but there's also those who just attack people without being taunted or just because they hate folks, right? So this isn't going to be as short as I wanted, but now Candace Owens is playing the victim after she always preached there's no victims, no such thing as a victim. But now she's playing the victim for what? Who? Islam? For Islamic terrorist countries? What we need to know about Islam is the Islamic terrorists is not that's just some bad people misinterpreting Islam. Islam And the Quran actually, it's a false religion. It's like they're like gangsters. They know there was a religion made almost 500 years after Christ. That's not exact. I forget the years, but it's a few hundred years after Christ. This religion was created to be antichrist, and it was a religion of war, not a religion of peace. And so they shut us up and don't allow us to talk. The Democrats love Islam because it doesn't allow people to talk and question Islam. So you don't know these things. When you know these things, you know it's a false religion. We have the freedom of religion, not the freedom of false religion. So it's like a gangster religion. And the founder of the religion, Prophet Muhammad, married a 9-year-old girl. He was a pedophile, a real pedophile, not a fake pedophile, not a false accusation of being pedophile, not rumors and false rumors. He's a real pedophile. And even the religion itself teaches that you get 1,000 virgins or 2,000 virgins in heaven when you kill an infidel in certain circumstances, under certain circumstances. An infidel meaning that they don't believe in Allah. Well, nobody should believe in Allah because he has no evidence of power over life and rising from the dead. We know from freedom of religion that if you study religion and practice the freedom of religion, America was built on the freedom to read the Bible and freedom of religion to study other texts and find out what's real. Well, we found out Jesus, it becomes academic. Jesus made it academic, actually. And a government, if they want to be a top-notch government, they can't support a false religion. And every other religion, any religion that's not built on Jesus Christ who rose from the dead as the Trinitarian God, if they're claiming that he's not Trinity, they're lying and they're calling Jesus a liar. And so that's a false religion too. That would be Mormons. And even Catholicism, there's no Pope in the Bible. There's no praying to Mary. It's Jesus who connects us to God, not Mary. We appreciate what she did. We appreciate her following God's lead, what he told her to do and everything, right? But so I have to question at this point, because Catholicism is where a lot of stuff's coming in. I've seen good Catholic churches and they buy into the more evangelical type religions, buy into Catholicism. But Catholicism was what was hanging people by the neck. Why they ran for freedom to the USA and became the Republicans who ended slavery. And those governments came here and brought all the slavery. And the Democrats represent that side of the government. The Democrats fought to keep slavery. They've lied for 100 years and make it sound like Republicans are patriotic because they supported the slavery and everything. No, they didn't. They ran here to get away from it. But I'm going to go on that, except for don't have a victim mentality no matter what. If you are a victim, and everybody's a victim at some point, but if you're in an extreme victim situation, you just keep fighting. Don't have the victim mentality. But you don't have to deny that you're a victim. Victims exist because you have to. If you're not a victim, then there's no person enslaving you by extortion or whatever it is, or threats. We want to frown upon that kind of lifestyle. Adios.